Aloha friends and neighbors, Rollin here, Kona Astrologer. Welcome to show 893. I know you're in the second week of January. Well, main thing is a week ago for you had a new moon right on Pluto on January 1st. And that's what I'm going to talk about is Pluto. I got to get serious about Pluto. But first, a slightly humorous. When I look back at the holidays, even back at December, I'm at first I was aghast. Oh, the whole thing has gone gay. You know, I get really tired of gay stuff. A year ago, I found out that some of my movie star friends were gay. Like not friends, but like Rock Hudson and Perry Mason. And you start looking into it, and a lot of actors are gay. Well, gay is just a simple word, huh? And there's this now LGBT. And you know, I've had a lot of clients who are gay, they're likable people. I've noticed a lot of violence around the men sometimes, but who cares? Really, who cares? It's your business what you do in the bedroom, and suddenly the government's in the bedroom. Doggone Democrats tell Republicans, get out of the bedroom, and they go right in there. Why? I mean, think about it. It's comic opera American culture. I mean, the big thing is yes, you're right. President Obama got it right. He pardoned some guys who were in jail on long-term sentences for possession of a little crack cocaine. Really bad laws. And he pardoned them. And he ignored all the rest of this stuff. But, you know, the people in Honolulu fell all over themselves. Oh, gay marriage, that's cool. Come over here and get married. We're going to make money. Anyway, I've kind of had it with the whole gay thing. I mean, there's a lot of other peculiarities about people and their pleasures that we could drag out, but we don't have to have the law okay this certain kind of behavior, do we? I mean, what we're about in the drug war is to stop prohibited acts. I was in court long ago when my boy was small, and next to me was an old Hawaiian man with a small boy, and all these prisoners are going through traffic court, and the little kid asked his grandpa, are these criminals? Are these bad men? And the grandpa said, no, it's prohibited acts. This country has all these prohibited acts. Believe it or not, you're not hurting anybody if you go 5 miles over the speed limit, but you're doing a prohibited act, right? Okay, so smoking pot is a prohibited act. And they'll, you know, I remember they're taking people's houses. And they put people in jail forever for a little crack cocaine. It's ridiculous. You know, Air Force fighter pilots are doing meth in the cockpit to get home. And it's just another speed drug. But the upshot is, Obama kept his head, and he pointed at the terrible drug war thing in our culture from prohibited acts. And yet we've spent, the last year worrying about gay people. I don't think we have any laws prohibiting their acts. There are countries who prohibit certain kind of sexual behaviors. When I was in the Army, I learned some southern states have laws prohibiting intercourse with sheep. Yes. I met some guys who thought, oh yeah, intercourse with sheep happens all the time. But look, you got to deal with prohibited acts. And instead of taking down the horrible drug war that's slaughtering the brightest and most experimental of our citizens and slaughtered Woodstock generation, got to keep the money people in power. That's what it's about. And they did it with the drug war. Instead, here we've spent a year pandering to all kinds of forms of sexual peculiarities and trying to make laws set up that the law okays this. And now the most peculiar thing of all that I have to laugh about, I told you they were all ganging up on Uranus. Uranus oftentimes wear khaki. Uranus wears camouflage, wears Levi's. Uranus is an independent character. Guess who I'm talking about yet? Duck Dynasty and Phil Robertson. His family is a Uranus family. They dress. So what happened is all these planets ganged up on Uranus. and bang, they somehow forced A&E to take him off the air and make a big stink because he made a sentence, boo to gays, along with a lot of other people he didn't like. So I'm thinking that was a sign of the times, and American government is a Gemini government. I don't like it much, but it's like they're little kids skating along the surface of things. But to have everybody so concerned, and you look at the media, half of the shows have gay people in it, and the theme of gayness is there, and Ellen DeGeneres is all over the place, and what the hell? Gay people seem like they're taking over the media, and everybody's so friendly to them, and now all of a sudden it's wrong to say gay is bad, or lesbians aren't cool, or, So I'm at one time I'm a little angry, but I recognize that Phil Robertson is Uranus, and Neptune is the gay people. I finally identified them as Neptune. They're such good actors. They get into politics and they get into acting because they're aggressive, and they're good actors, very practiced with the act, the face, the body language, But after a while you can spot them kind of easy. And this great hoo-ha. Oh, is this Jews? Well, you got to have an anti-defamation league for gays now. If you say the word, I hate LBGDs or whatever it is, what? You're being ostracized. You're going to be fired from your job, blah, blah, blah. Are we really going to put sexual preferences in there with the equality clause of our country's government? Is that really a category that you wish to protect under law? I mean, marriage is just a contract. They're going to be kind of sorry about this. I've told my boys for years, the only reason to get married is if you share children or a bunch of property, because then this marriage laws will protect you. Same like business partnership laws. They protect each one against the other, which is very good. But if you're not going to share a bunch of that, don't get enmeshed in that law. You'll be sorry later. That's my message to you gay folks out there, is you better think twice before you go do this marriage thing. It's a government contract. So anyway, I think that was the funnest thing about 2013, and the most yuck thing in a way is we didn't take a step towards solving the drug war, and all our jails are full. We didn't do anything about the military. We didn't, most of the big issues have just sat there while we all talked over whether you're a homophobe or not. You gotta admit, it's funny. It's sad, but it's funny. Anyway, Pluto's on the table. Who's Pluto? Pluto is the underground god. It's better to first you study the character of the planets from the prior cultures. And who was Pluto? He stole Venus, and he was the king of the underworld and Hades and all that. And you can learn a lot from all the other cultures. They all have a Pluto. But I like to learn from the people out here. Your most common Pluto person is a policeman. Prosecutors. How do they operate? With extortion and blackmail, and just like criminals, these prosecutors. Who is Pluto? The jailers? The investigators? There's good Plutos, I'm sure. But you got to be careful with him. Pluto's an extremist. He's either quiet, like the eagle, and the scorpion doesn't move. But once that eagle decides what he's going to do, and Sherlock Holmes swoops. So you got to watch Pluto. Anyway, they all ganged up on Uranus, and Phil Robertson was the victim all over the place. I thought you'd enjoy that. And it's better to look at the people in your culture to identify these planets. Who's Pluto? The NSA, of course. You're flooded with Pluto stuff now. You got the whole month of January from that new moon for Pluto to get in trouble. With squares to Mars and Uranus, all these guys are acting out. They strip search some lady from a consulate of India in New York. Wow! They're overstepping their bounds. They're over-aggressive. They're independent. Pluto is a problem in the USA. It's opposing Mercury in the USA government chart. So we're afflicted with guns. We're afflicted with viruses. We're afflicted with police. We're afflicted with power and control issues. Control, Pluto ruling the 6th house in this chart, says the employees are at possible trouble. This all started with black people as slaves, you know. Yeah. So there's a history to that Pluto opposition and how hard it is for the USA to handle it. Not a damn thing's been done about guns. You know, can't you get through your head, America, that pistols are bad? Nobody wants them around. Outlaw all pistols. Allow long guns. But that's a start. That'll cut down the death rate a lot. But no, we got a gun culture. Anyway, that's about all I got to say. Come on, let's go do the sky mirror. And remember now, you know, when I got up this morning, I had a couple bites on my thigh, big ones. And not a flea bite, spider bite. So I'm freaking out. There's a spider in my bedroom and it bites me at night when I'm asleep. You probably got bug problems. That's Pluto in your life around your house. Pluto's bugs, things you can't see. You know, solar flares, can't see them. NSA, can't see them. They're listening to my phone calls. Anything when you can't see it and it's underneath the surface, like you can't see a virus, it's usually Pluto is at work there. So you got a month to learn it, as troublesome as it is. Come on, let's look at Sky Mirror. Did you know cats are ruled by the moon? And they came about because in ancient times the Vedics from India and ancient people, the ancients of India, miniaturized the jungle cat. Interesting thing in my studies, I've noticed that the kings and emperors of the world, from the Egyptians to the Romans to the Mayans, when these guys could have any kind of pet they wanted, they chose the spotted jungle cats. The leopards are apparently the best cats to have as personal pets. So they miniaturized them. And that's who you got here. Like this little character, Levon, we call him. He's a neighbor's cat. And he has short front legs. He looks exactly like a little jaguar. He looks black, but if you catch the sunlight between his fur, he's actually an orange cat with black spots. All of these cats are. See, doesn't he look like a jaguar? Yeah. So they're the pets of the ancient emperors. That's a ball, just a paper ball they play with. Good fun, huh? Those big spotted jungle cats are now your domestic pets. By the way, you want to talk cat talk? They do it with their eyes. When you see a cat, you squint your eyes. That's like I'm relaxed and I love you. If you open up your eyes bigger, you know, the cat, that's alarm, alarm, and the cat won't come anywhere near you. But most cats, even strange ones, if you look at them just for a split second and then squint your eyes, they will give you the squinted eye signal back. Oh, you're okay, I love you. Yeah, it's eye talk. That's what cats do. We call this one Shadow. Hey, Shadow. And because he's pitch black, it seems. But if you catch him in the sun, what you'll find is he's actually Shadow. 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 He's actually orange underneath. In his deep fur. We call him Shadow because he just follows everybody around. Very affectionate little guy. The one next door comes over and plays with him every morning. They're playmates. Shadow. Shadow's nice. Shadow does what he's told. Hey, Shadow, over here. Shadow. Yes, you're on TV. Shadow, very affectionate. Hard to believe he's really a huge jungle jaguar in disguise, but that's what he is. That's what they all are, these cats we live with. It's not the lions. They didn't domesticate lions. They didn't domesticate tigers, any kind of striped cats. It was only the spotted cats, the orange cats with the black spots, the jungle cats, that were amenable to being made a pet. And all the emperors had them for thousands of years. And now you have them too. Hey, Shadow. You're welcome.
And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted boys go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round, and go round and round, and go round and round and round in the circle again.
You can imagine this little guy as a 200-pound black jaguar in the jungle, huh? These two are not the same litter. The fuzzy one's got a crooked tail. Hawaiian cats come from China. They got some of their tailbones fused. It's the mark of an old Hawaiian cat. The other one's the next door neighbor's cat with the short front legs. Looks really like a jaguar. What fun. You can sit around and watch them for hours, huh? Their games look kind of rough, but you know, if one of them gets any pain, they squeak and they immediately change over to licking. Hey, you guys, what are you doing? Live on. Hey. All right, let's get on with it. We really need to identify Pluto. Look, I made a little list for you here. Here's some of the things Pluto shows up as: sharks, insects, yellow jackets, mosquitoes and fleas like little vampires, vampire things, blood and gore on TV, spiders, viruses, the PTSD virus, the suicide virus, 3, 6, or 9 months and you're out of it. Tell your friends. Bombers, yeah, suicide bombers. Carbon monoxide kills more people on the big island of Hawaii and in the outer islands and in South Texas than you can imagine. Totally sneaky, unknown. Nobody understands it. NSA, CIA, FBI, yes, they're out there sneaking around. Pluto. Police. Drone strikes. There's a good side to Pluto. He does research. He discovers things. Okay. I had a client and a friend, retired airline stewardess, call me the other day. Eek, she said, I opened the drawer and a rat came out. and it ran over my foot. I'm scared to death. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So she got a hold of one of those cages, and I told her, now you put a little cheese on the peanut and put a little peanut butter on the cheese, set that trap, and in the morning that rat will be in the cage. And I said, you pick up that cage, take it out on the porch and sit next to that rat, and you'll find he's got a face and emotions and he's friendly. And you might make a friend instead of an enemy. The key to Pluto, my friends, is to get to know him. You know, and the worst, people play with deadly snakes. Anyway, she did, and she found out the rat was very friendly and happy and let him out down in a nice jungle area. And she made friends with Pluto. And there was a study psychologists did on rats. And they had a bunch of rats in a cage, and they let one rat out. He could go over here and get free out of the cage, out of the box. He could go over here and get food. So they were trying to test whether the rat went for freedom or food. Turned out the rat didn't. The rat looked around, turned right around, ignored the food and the freedom, and went back to the cage to try to free his buddies and his family. Rats aren't what you think. Most of the Pluto things aren't. All right, so you're going to have Pluto incidents. Eek a bug, we call it, panic attacks, and they'll come along kind of regular.
especially around sunset and sunrise and noon and midnight. We're going to take this planetary pattern because Uranus is squaring Pluto. Mars is squaring Pluto. Now, Mars and Uranus can be very electric, disturbing, violent. Pluto takes things to extremes. So if you can imagine your policeman, that's totally got road rage with Mars squaring him, and Uranus, he's out of it. He doesn't realize he's on camera, and anyway, he bursts into a schizophrenic road rage menace, and that's what we're all afraid of, huh? Well, let's look at it day by day. We're going to run the moon around this pattern, try to give you a little edge on the whole thing. If you're watching the show on the 9th, the moon's in Taurus, starts here, goes to there, and there's a trine to Pluto. Thursday, in the middle of the day, you could have discovery. You could understand that rats are fun. They're little animals. They love their families. They have the same emotions you do. She called me up the next day, and she said, "You're right. I made a friend. He was so happy. He wasn't disturbed at all. He liked the cage. He loved the peanut butter and cheese." Ha 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 ha. She lost her fear of rats. Okay, so here you are Friday morning. You've had discovery Thursday night. On the 10th, there's a trine to the sun. You're getting stuff done. Hooray! There's Venus, there's sugar there, there's reward. But here's an opposition to Saturn. Ugh. Now you'll notice that the little red line comes between the sun and Venus. And it's in the morning. These are 2 a.m. marks in Hawaii. And so here you got after breakfast, I'm ambitious, I'm going for it. And then the opposition to Saturn, I don't have time, I don't have money. And then you relax a little bit later. Here's Venus. Oh, okay. Here's a nice trine to Mercury. Kids are happy Friday night. You can communicate late, around 11, 12 o'clock. On Saturday, the 11th of January, 2014, the moon is in Gemini. And it starts the day between breakfast and lunch here with a square to Neptune. And there's confusion and delusion. Who are these special people, these priests, artists, doctor, musicians? And I guess I got to add actors and gay people. Anyway, who are they? Well, bad smells around. Here's a trine to, or sextile to Uranus. Rationality and mentality triumphs over this mindless emotionality of Neptune sometimes, huh? Just join the group with all the rest of the fish. Now, be an individual here with Uranus and think for yourself. That's the lesson of these two mystical giants, huh? Sunday, the moon's still in Gemini, starts with a nice sextile to Mars, and no, it's a, yeah, so what the heck? Trine. So you can get a lot of work done. Get your chores done Sunday morning the 12th. You'll be happy with the results. On Monday, the moon's still in Gemini till you get past lunch, and then it shifts into Cancer. And then here's the trine to Neptune. Oh, music, art, religion, Jesus, read the Bible, sit under a tree, let your higher heart soar. Neptune's in charge. That's the heart enlightenment, huh? And then here Tuesday morning, moon's in Cancer. There's a square to Uranus. Rationality didn't work. The guys dressed in camo went down. Anyway, here's panic, in the middle of Tuesday and Tuesday afternoon, and anger in the afternoon. There's Venus caught up in the whole thing too. There is, by the way, during this time, a Venus squaring Mars and opposing Jupiter. So Venus could be in trouble. The love, the young girls. Yeah. And this Tuesday is the key, because you're going to see this on Monday, Tuesdays for the rest of January. And here's eek a bug. Feel all alone? That's when you get eek a bug. And then the moon goes by Jupiter. You might try to laugh, but there's no sweets. And Mars is still angry. And it doesn't settle down much till you get to the trine to Saturn here Wednesday, about, just around lunchtime. There's a little, I got my act together, but you're not going to get anything done, because Here's an opposition to the sun, and this is actually a full moon at 25 Cancer. So Wednesday night, full moon, a lot of this stuff in. Total lunacy from Tuesday through Wednesday. Keep your head down. Thursday, the moon's in Leo, and it starts with problems with Mercury. Can't communicate late Thursday night. And then Friday morning on the 17th, there's a trine to Uranus. Rationality, mentality. The guy in the camel may leave him alone. Here's Mars, too. Sextile to Mars. You can get things done and be technical. You get stopped around 11 or 12 o'clock with the square to Saturn. Too bad. On Saturday, it's all good till you get to the middle of Saturday, and Saturday afternoon, moon shifts into Virgo, and here's opposition to Neptune. Trouble with liquids, trouble with religion, art, music, all these phony actors. Doesn't feel so good, does it? So don't go out Saturday night. People that are drinking will get in your way. Alcohol is Neptune, huh? Sunday, the moon's still in Virgo on the 19th, and in the afternoon, here's a nice trine to Pluto. Discovery is loose. And look at, here's Jupiter in harmony, and Venus and Saturn. And so Sunday night, the 19th, a lot of good stuff is happening. And you can kind of get your head again after the traumas of Tuesday. That's the way it is this year of our Lord 2014. On a bad moon month. A nice client sent me this card when she ordered a chart. $65, $95, $125 sent to your door on a DVD. Look at this. It's called Turtle Town Joy. See the joyful turtles? There's Honu, my friends, and they're all joyful. And I can go down to the beach here, and even when the weather's lousy, the turtles are in the water, and they're doing their thing. Tell you, when Pluto's in charge like this, it's hard to keep your head. With Mars, ask yourself what you're protecting. With Pluto, get to know who that secret person thing is. I mean, there are sharks in the water. The Hawaiians played with them and made pets of them. Yes. Captain Cook came through. He said, these people swim like fish. He says, what's more, the water's alive with sharks. I can't understand it. Nobody seems to get bit. It must be due to the nimbleness of the natives. You just got to get to know your Pluto friend. The farmers in India keep cobras in their fields to keep down the rats. Their Pluto friend. Check out the website, last 4 shows. Yeah, shows are on here. Buy the app.